Good morning. In our class for solid state electronic students MSc final, today we discuss generation and recombination processes. In thermal equilibrium, the relationship Pn is equal to Ni square is valid. If excess carriers are introduced into a semiconductor so that Pn is greater than Ni square, we have a non-equilibrium situation. The process of introducing excess carriers is called carrier injection. Most semiconductor devices operate by the creation of charge carriers in excess of the thermal equilibrium values. We can introduce excess carriers by optical excitation or forward biasing a PN junction. Whenever the thermal equilibrium condition is disturbed, that is, Pn is not equal to Ni square, processes exist to restore the system to equilibrium. That is, equilibrium condition is Pn is equal to Ni square. In the case of injection of excess carriers, the mechanism that restores equilibrium is recombination of the injected minority carriers with the majority carriers. Depending on the nature of recombination process, the released energy that results from recombination process can be emitted as a photon or dissipated as heat to the lattice. When a photon is emitted, the process is called radiative recombination. Otherwise, it is called non-radiative recombination. Recombination phenomena can be classified as direct or indirect processes. Direct recombination, also called band-to-band recombination, usually dominates in a direct band gap semiconductor such as gallium arsenide, whereas indirect recombination via band gap recombination centers dominates in indirect band gap semiconductors such as silicon. We now discuss about direct recombination. If we consider a direct band gap semiconductor in thermal equilibrium, the continuous thermal vibration of lattice atoms causes some bonds between neighboring atoms to be broken. When a bond is broken, an electron hole pair is generated. In terms of band diagram, the thermal energy enables a valence electron to make an upward transition to the conduction band, leaving a hole in the valence band. This process is called carrier generation and is represented by generation rate GTH, that is G thermal, number of whole electron pairs generated per cubic centimeter per second. When an electron makes a transition downward from conduction band to valence band, an electron hole pair is annihilated. This reverse process is called recombination. It is represented by the recombination rate RTH as we have shown in the diagrams ENB. Under thermal equilibrium condition, the generation rate GTH must equal the recombination rate RTH so that the carrier concentration remain constant and the condition Pn is equal to Ni square is maintained. When excess carriers are introduced to a direct band gap semiconductor, the probability is high that electrons and holes will recombine directly because the bottom of the conduction band and the top of the valence band are lined up and no additional momentum is required for transition across the band gap. The rate of direct recombination R is expected to be proportional to the number of electrons available in the conduction band and number of holes available in the valence band, that is R is equal to beta Np, where beta is the proportionality constant as discussed previously. In thermal equilibrium, the recombination rate must be balanced by the generation rate. Therefore, for an N-type semiconductor, we have G thermal is equal to R thermal, that is equal to beta N0 P N0. In this notation, for carrier concentration, the first subscript refers to the type of semiconductor. The subscript O indicates an equilibrium quantity. The N N0 and P N0 represent electron and hole densities respectively in an N-type semiconductor at thermal equilibrium. When we shine light on semiconductor to produce electron hole pairs at a rate GL, the carrier concentrations are above the equilibrium values. The recombination and generation rate becomes R is equal to beta NN Pn as we have shown in the equation. This is equal to beta N0 plus delta N into brackets Pn0 plus delta P bracket close. So G becomes equal to GL plus G thermal when delta N and delta p are the excess carrier concentrations given by delta n is equal to Nn minus Nn0. And similarly, delta p is equal to Pn minus Pn0. Delta n is equal to delta p to maintain overall charge neutrality. The net rate of change of hole concentrations is given by dPn by dt is equal to G minus R. This is equal to GL minus plus G thermal minus R. In steady state, dPn by dt is equal to 0, and so we have GL is equal to R minus G thermal. This is equal to U. Where U is the net recombination rate. If we substitute in the equation, we have U is equal to beta N0 plus P N0 plus delta P, this whole thing multiplied by delta P. For low level injection, delta P, Pn0 is very much less than Nn0, so we have the equation U is equal to beta N0 delta P, which is equal to Pn minus Pn0 divided by 1 upon beta Nn0, as we have shown in the equation. Therefore, the net recombination rate is proportional to the excess minority carrier concentration. Obviously, U is equal to 0 in thermal equilibrium. The proportionality constant 1 by beta N0 is called the lifetime tau of the excess minority carriers. Or we have U is equal to Pn minus Pn0 divided by tau P, where tau P is equal to 1 by beta Nn0, as we have shown in the equation. Therefore, the physical meaning of lifetime can now be shown by the transient response of a device after sudden removal of light source. If we consider an N-type sample which is illuminated with light and in which we get electron hole pairs are generated uniformly throughout the sample with the generation rate GL. The time dependent expression in steady state can be given by GL is equal to U is equal to Pn minus Pn0 divided by tau P, as we have shown in the equation. Now we have shown a diagram of decay of photo excited carriers if we take N-type sample under constant illumination, and another, the second diagram, shows decay of minority carrier holes with time, and in the third diagram we have schematic setup to measure minority carrier lifetime. So we have Pn is equal to Pn0 plus tau P GL. If an arbitrary time, say t is equal to 0, the light is turned off, the boundary conditions are Pn at t is equal to 0, that is equal to Pn0 plus tau P GL, and Pn at t tends to infinity, that is indicated by Pn0. The time dependent expression will now become equal to dPn by dt, this is equal to G thermal minus R, which is equal to minus U, as we have shown in the equation, which is equal to minus Pn minus Pn0 by tau P. And so the solution, if we solve this, the solution becomes Pn as a function of time, which is equal to Pn0 plus tau P GL exponential of minus t by tau P. The figure shows, in the previous figure we have shown the variation of Pn with time. The minority carriers recombine with the majority carriers and decay exponentially with a time constant tau P, which corresponds to the lifetime defined earlier. This case illustrates the main idea of measuring the carrier lifetime using photoconductivity method. And the last figure in the previous page, this shows, this last figure, this gives us an idea of measuring the carrier lifetime using photoconductivity method. The excess carriers generated uniformly throughout the sample by light pulse cause a momentary increase in the conductivity. The increase in conductivity manifests itself by a drop in voltage across the sample when a constant current is passed through it. The decay of the conductivity can be observed by an oscilloscope and is a measure of lifetime of the excess minority carriers. Now we discuss what is indirect recombination. For indirect band gap semiconductors such as silicon, a direct recombination process is very unlikely because the electrons at the bottom of the conduction band have non-zero momentum with respect to holes at the top of the valence band. A direct transition that conserves both energy and momentum is not possible without a simultaneous lattice interaction. Therefore, the dominant recombination process in such semiconductors is indirect transitions via localized energy states in forbidden energy gap. These states act as stepping stones between the conduction band and the valence band. Various transitions that occur in the recombination process through the intermediate states, also called recombination centers, we illustrate the charging state of the center before and after each of the four basic transitions take place. The arrows in the figure designate the transitions of the electron in a particular process. For the case of recombination center with a single energy level that is neutral, not occupied by an electron, or negative when it is occupied in direct recombination, the derivation of the recombination rate is more complicated. The detailed derivation and the recombination rate is given by the equation U is equal to V thermal sigma n sigma p nt in brackets Pn Nn minus Ni square bracket close divided by sigma p in brackets Pn plus Ni e to the power in brackets Ei minus Ef bracket close divided by Kt again bracket close plus sigma n in brackets Nn plus Ni e to the power in brackets E T minus Ei bracket close divided by Kt again bracket close, where V thermal is the thermal velocity of carriers, Nt is the concentration of recombination centers in the semiconductor, and sigma n is the capture cross section of the electrons. The quantity sigma n describes the effectiveness of the center to capture an electron and is a measure of how close the electron has come to the center of the captured. Sigma p is the capture cross section of the holes. We can simplify the general expression for the dependence of U on Et by assuming equal electron and hole capture cross sections, that is sigma n is equal to sigma p equal to sigma 0. The equation then becomes equal to U is equal to V thermal sigma 0 nt in brackets Pn Nn minus Ni square bracket close divided by Pn plus Nn plus 2 Ni cos hyperbolic in brackets Et minus Ei divided by Kt bracket close. Under a low injection condition in an n-type semiconductor, so that Nn is equal very much greater than Pn, the recombination rate can be written as U is equal to V thermal sigma 0 nt Pn minus Pn0 divided by 1 plus in brackets 2 Ni by Nn0 bracket close cos hyperbolic of in brackets Et minus Ei divided by Kt bracket close. This is equal to Pn minus Pn0 by tau p. The recombination rate of indirect recombination is given by the same expression. However, tau p depends on the locations of the recombination centers. Completing this, we now discuss what is surface recombination. So in this figure, we have schematically shown the bonds of a semiconductor at the surface. Because of abruptly discontinuous lattice structure of the surface, a large number of localized energy states or generation recombination centers may be introduced at the surface region. These energy states, called the surface states, may greatly enhance the recombination rate at the surface region. The kinetics of surface recombination are similar to those considered before for bulk centers. The total number of carrier combinations at the surface per unit area and unit time can be expressed in a form analogous to the above equation. For a low injection condition and for limiting case where electron concentrations at the surface is essentially equal to the bulk majority carrier concentration, the total number of carriers recombined at the surface per unit area and per unit time can be simplified to Us is equal to V thermal sigma p nst in brackets ps minus p n0, where ps denotes the whole concentration at the surface and nst is the recombination center density per unit area in the surface region. Since the product V thermal sigma p nst has its dimensions in centimeters per second, it is called low injection surface recombination velocity, SLR. So SLR is equal to V thermal sigma p nst. So this we have discussed what is surface recombination. And finally, now we discuss what is Auger recombination. As you have shown in the diagram, the Auger recombination process occurs by the transfer of energy and momentum released by the recombination of an electron-hole pair to a third particle that can be either an electron or hole. This we have shown diagrammatically in the above diagram, this diagram. A second electron in the conduction band absorbs the energy released by the direct recombination. After the Auger process, the second electron becomes an energetic electron. It loses its energy to the lattice by scattering events. Usually, Auger recombination is important when the carrier concentration is very high as a result of either high doping or high injection level. Because the Auger process involves three particles, the rate of Auger recombination can be expressed as R Auger, this is equal to beta n square p or beta n p square. The proportionality constant beta has a very strong temperature dependence. So here we have discussed four types of recombination processes: the Auger recombination, the surface recombination, the indirect recombination, and the direct recombination. These recombination processes are very important in semiconductors. Using all these recombination processes and the generation processes, we will now develop in a later class the continuity equation. But for today, we end our class over here. Thank you.